Yeah, I'll hold my mic. I think I'm gonna hold my mic.
All right, sounds good. Definitely sounds good.
Cool.
Welcome to the first episode of the Matty's Mike Talk podcast. I'm here joined with Renato. I think I pronounced that correctly. I hope I did.
Yeah, you got it, Renato.
Yeah, because I've been like, I look at your name and I really try to like pronounce it. Like, I hope I've been pronouncing it correctly every single time I've seen it. And I was like, when I say it, Renato, like, I hope I'm saying it correctly.
So I get Ronaldo a lot because not a lot of people know the name Renato. It's very foreign.
Okay.
So you give him your name, a lot of times they'll add the D, they'll add an L. I'm like, I get it. And it's happened to me so many times at this point that I let it slide. But yes, Renato.
Okay, sounds good. And the last name is Dibonaventura, right?
Spot on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Okay. Sounds good. Because
Very good.
I'm telling you, bro, I really just like have not tried to butcher your name since it's like a foreign name. So it's like I don't want to say it wrong.
They did a pretty good job.
But it's an honor to have you. First episode to open up this podcast, something I've always wanted to do.
Thank
So
you, thank you.
it's great to have you on. And like really one of the first things that I really want to discuss with you is the mindset that you have. So when I got to know you, because I barely like knew who you were when I first met you, I didn't really know. I don't think even you knew who I was. Like I really was nobody yet.
Okay.
The mindset though, the first thing that I saw was the mindset that you had, the work ethic. It's like really, really like strong. Like where did you pick that up from?
It's a very good question. I did not always have a good work ethic, and for the longest time, I didn't have much drive at all. Most people know this about me already. For clarity's sake, I had a very hard time my freshman year of college. I was very much all over the place,
Okay.
and I had no sense of identity. And once I learned to stop feeling bad for myself and figure out that hard work was the only way to make something of myself, I just kind of took that idea, internalized it, and ran with it. And it helps that growing up, I have a twin brother who we had shared interests in everything, especially in sports.
Yeah.
Kid had no work ethic, but he was so talented.
Yeah.
Whereas me, I had no work ethic yet, and I wasn't talented. I have no natural ability in anything I do. But seeing him perform so well always made me feel like I needed to step up. And so the seeds for that work ethic were planted, but I don't think they ever really started growing until 2019, 2020. But ever since then, it's just put my mind to something and see where I can take it.
That's really interesting though that you say that. It's like it sounds like the classic Lionel Cristiano Ronaldo thing, where Lionel was born with like a bunch of talent. Cristiano Ronaldo says he has to work harder. So you're saying that you had to like work hard. That's really interesting, and it's one of the things that I've added to my work ethic. Like one of the things that I really picked up from you and a bunch of other people is was something that shaped my work ethic. Like I wouldn't be as working as hard as I do if I didn't see like the stuff that you guys have brought to the table. Like it's a really big thing.
I appreciate that, man. It's very nice. Yeah, I think it's really important to draw inspiration from the right people. And I'm not attracted to success. I'm attracted to hard work because I know someone like you, whether or not you consider your ambitions successful yet, because you work as hard as you do, you will find success. And I'd rather be around the people still getting there because I'm not there myself. And I think there's something to be said about putting yourself in a room filled with hardworking people. If you're around a bunch of people that already made it, that's great, and you can learn from them and how they got there. But watching those people get to that point, infinitely more wisdom to be taken from there.
100%.
Yeah.
I definitely like to see that because it's like if I can say something myself, like with you and the group of people that I've met, you guys have to be some of the most influential people that I've met because it's like it just doesn't stop with you guys. Like when watching you, when it comes to content creation, like how did that go? Like when you took content creation and I saw you take it so seriously, like you made that, like you were gonna like I'm gonna do that, like that's that strong like I'm getting it.
I could tell you about that. I'd love talking about content creation now because the vision I have for myself is really all over the place right now. But January 1st of this year, I told myself I need a fitness page that's going to reflect my personality more so than just kind of like it wanted to be me.
Yeah.
But I also knew that passive social media content creation with the way the algorithms work on almost every social media platform today, you can't do it passively. And I told myself from January 1st onward that I was going to post every single day. I was going to do the research and the best hashtags, time of day to post. I was looking at my analytics. And while that's not a goal I really have for myself anymore, the platform Instagram at least, I ran it really well, and I built a pretty sizable following in a pretty short window, and it's because there are so many resources out there to show you how you should be posting and when you should be doing it. And if you're willing to commit to that and make it a daily thing, it becomes a habit. It's just like working out. If you do it for 14 days straight, it becomes habitual. You're going to be doing it all the time. And
100%.
that's what social media was for me at that point. Yeah.
Because like when I asked you about like the TikTok stuff, when like back then, I was like, dude, how does this guy sit here and shoot 4 TikToks a day? Like saying that he needs to be posting 4 TikToks a day. Like I would think my brain used to get fried trying to think of ideas.
You know, here's the thing, right? TikTok is heavily reliant on its algorithm.
Yeah.
And that platform, I think more so than any other social media platform I've ever used, it rewards users who are always using their app. And outside of the fact I got really lucky and my one clip went viral, when you sort of figured out your niche and what people expect from you, and then you take that to the algorithm and put those two together, I mean, for all intensive purposes, had I kept uploading the way I was doing on TikTok, I have no doubt that the 27,000 followers I have there probably tripled, if not quadrupled. It's just I've become more interested in my identity and what I'm putting out there, and I'd like to say beginning of next week I'm going to be back on that platform full force, but I want it to be shaped around what I'm truly interested in. I don't want to just chase a niche because that's what the algorithm put in front of me. Yeah. Because for all intensive purposes, if your sole intention on social media is to grow and you figure out what your niche is and what people want to see, you can beat that to death and it will work out for you at some point. Fortunately for me, my niche was not what I wanted it to be. And for a time it helped, and it gave me a platform that allowed my other socials to grow, so I'm really grateful for that. But you want to reshape it in a way that is an accurate depiction of yourself. Because if all you're known for on something like TikTok is like, you're the guy with the big ass, and 27,000 people follow you because of that, and you continue to grow your audience from there. If I ever wanted to take myself seriously in a way that I want to box, right? My lasting impression on most people, my followers, is dude with the big ass. And to me, that just wasn't compelling.
It doesn't feel like as serious as enough. Like you're not held to that standard of being a fitness influencer.
Exactly, or whatever I'd even consider myself nowadays is just whatever platform I'm going to be on. I want to influence people in the right ways. And while I'll sit here and give people advice on my take on the social media game, I find that I have the most joy in helping people become better versions of themselves, whether it's physical or mental. I think it's really important. There's not enough people solely focused on that.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
You mentioned the boxing game. Like I've been seeing you post about that a lot right now. How has that been going? It's interesting.
Yeah, so for the longest time, working out had always been to supplement soccer. I was a soccer player growing up for the most part of my life. And then once I stopped playing soccer as religiously as I did, fell in love with weightlifting. And, you know, you've seen me all of last year. I mean, lifting all the time. And I was eating around lifting. I was growing. I was shaping up really nicely. And one of the goals I had put on my little piece of paper I kept on my mirror every morning was I wanted a 315 bench. And not too long ago, I got it. And ever since I've hit that goal, I've achieved that goal, I walk into the gym without a real sense of purpose. So the question became, what's next? And as you'll learn to see, and I'm sure you've already noticed it already, I fixate on something and I just go after it. Like, I find the most joy in whatever I'm in love with at the time, 100% into it. And boxing's always been a very interesting one to me. I have an older cousin who is a professional MMA fighter. And, you know, he had a bunch of friends. Funny story, actually. One of his best friends is Dylan Dennis. And so, when you have influence like that around you every
Yeah.
now and then, you're always like,
I mean,
that's
you
an
got
interesting connection. Why have I never explored it? And then I have a cousin my age, huge into jujitsu. Went to his first fight. It was legal.
yeah,
His first legal
yeah.
fight. And although he didn't get the result he wanted,
Yeah.
I remember sitting there itching. Like I loved every second of it. And the only thing that stopped me from touching something like MMA was I could never throw an elbow at somebody.
Get caught with one too.
It's
at the
one
same
thing to
time.
punch someone in the face, but the elbows, man, I can't stomach that.
The elbows, the head kicks, the knees, the nose.
It's not, at least to me, MMA is so fascinating, but I think at its core is it's a little too rough.
Okay.
It's not as much of a sport to me as something like boxing, which after doing it recently, and I had been doing it in the past, very technical.
Yeah.
Most definitely very sport oriented. It's a talent to not get hit, and it's talent to find your openings to land hits. Whereas something like an MMA fight is, I mean, it's very aggressively fueled, and when you're beating someone up on the ground, is there sport in that? Sure, I'm sure there is, and I'm sure there's nuances I don't understand.
Yeah.
But the way I look at things right now, boxing, yes, I could see that for myself.
Sounds good.
And I'm just curious to see where I can take it because I will be on it 5-6 days a week consistently in the gym working on things that are going to help me there.
Okay.
And it's just kind of like my new thing.
I fuck with that because like I'm seeing that you were picking up the boxing thing. Like it even showed me like it like inspired me kind of to like go pick up what I was doing before. So before I started even weightlifting, I used to do like some Muay Thai just for a little bit.
Did you?
Yeah. And I really like when it was like right before COVID happened. So then COVID happened, gym shut down. I wasn't gonna be able to pick it up because what am I gonna shadow box and kick the air the entire time? So when they like you started picking up the boxing thing, I was just like, you know what? Let me just see if the schools are open because it kind of pushed me to like be able to just want to do that as well as I powerlift, just because I really enjoyed mixed martial arts. I really do like UFC a lot.
Okay.
So I was like, damn, like if he can weightlift and fight too, like why can't I just learn something? So I was like, I'm just gonna pick up jujitsu again because it's just gonna be fun. Like it just seems like something fun. Like you as much as you really like hitting the weights and you like really like getting in the gym, it's also just that thing, that thrill of learning, like especially something new like a mixed martial arts. It's something that's gonna push you even harder or make you train even harder and really just enjoy that factor of getting like good at it.
Yeah. Well, let me give you my new perspective on things. I haven't had the chance to talk to you about this or anyone really, but my whole mindset and my perception of how I work out and what that means to me has changed so much.
Okay.
I think a lot of people don't talk about it, and I think it's something that you will make self-deprecating remarks about or you'll make jokes about, but I think everyone reaches a point, especially if you're in like the fitness influencer game or just on Instagram posting your lifts, your physique. There's always going to be guys with impossible to understand physiques and incredible builds, incredible strength. And I'm someone who actually had a really bad relationship with social media because of it.
Okay.
I've always been very hard on myself naturally,
Yeah.
but when you don't learn to give yourself credit or find worth in the work you're doing and all you're doing is comparing it to other people who have nothing to do with you at all,
100%.
It creates a really bad, like toxic relationship with the way you work out and what your goals are. And that's why, for all intents and purposes, I stopped posting my lifts and my physique because that's not the vision I have for myself anymore.
Okay.
I will make a platform for myself. It's not going to be based off the gym. It's just not what I see for myself. But finding something like boxing has instilled so much self-worth and confidence in myself because although I'll go to spar and I'll go get beat up or I'll be exhausted, winded, still trying to fight my way through, it's very easy for me to see my work ethic in practice in something like a boxing gym, and that isn't something I was able to see when I was just weightlifting. And I knew at some point weightlifting was going to get old to me, and not in a way that I don't love working out. I don't like going to the gym. I don't like lifting, but I'm goal driven, and without a goal in mind, it's hard for me to do anything.
Yeah.
Like almost anything. So for me, taking a step back from the gym, using it to supplement something like the boxing, has been huge. And I really encourage anyone to look at something like that. Like, how old are you?
I'm 20.
You are so young. And I think something like this podcast, is what we were talking about earlier, is so great.
Yeah.
You are 20 years old and you have your whole life ahead of you. And if you're passionate about something, you're at an age where you can work on this for years.
Yeah.
Without any risk, any harm done, any time wasted.
100%.
And you don't know what's going to happen, but if you commit to it and work hard on it, brother, the future's yours. You just have to get
100%.
on it. And I wish more people would do that. They'd believe in their dreams and they'd go chase them, especially when you're this young.
Of course.
Especially.
That's one of the things that's like that's why I mess with you, and I really I hold you at a standard. I'm not even going to lie. This is like, so when I met you, before I met you, it was like, obviously you have your general social media influencers that are going to influence you, big people that I'm not going to know who you are, things like that. But when I met you and then I saw the posts that your stuff and the stuff that you stand for, I really messed with that. And I really thought that was fucking cool because it showed me and probably showing other people as well that you could start off with a smaller platform, but still start to push people. And you can you make an impact. You did make an impact, 100%. And I'm gonna say that for myself too, because it's one of the reasons why I think it's helped me shape my mentality. And you and other people that I've met have helped me shape the mentality that I want to be one of the best powerlifters in my weight class ever, or I want to start a podcast. And I've been holding this back for a long time because I've been really wanting to do something like this, and I've really been holding it back. But seeing the stuff that you say and the stuff that other people say, and they're pushing you, it just makes you want to do things. Like I'm not gonna sit here and be like still scared to do it. Like I'm just gonna go for it.
No, man, and see that what you said right there. Hey, thank you very much. Like, it's very touching. But when I hear someone talk like that and they're able to express the influence I've had over them in such a positive way, like that's what it all boils down to for me. That's what it's always been about. I could go on for the next decade making content and my follower count could stay the same. Mm-hmm. But if I was still affecting the people around me or the newer people that come into my life in a way that I've affected someone like you, that gives me purpose, that gives me meaning. And I just, how many big influencers do you follow that instill that sort of mindset or maybe that passion? Because maybe it's just me.
Yeah.
I don't watch a lot of bigger influencers. I think once you hit a certain level, your main selling point is entertainment value. And I think that's okay. I think there's a reason that happens. But I've always liked the little guy.
Yeah.
Because that guy doesn't have anything, but he has his mind. Mm-hmm. And it's such a powerful tool. And if he can instill the way he looks at the world into you, that's the best gift you could ever have. And, shout out to all the bigger guys. They've been there and they've made it. And, that's the end goal. That's the dream, of course.
100%.
But if my purpose on this earth was to never reach that point, but continue to influence people's minds in a positive way, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because the thing I feel is like the guys who are in the bigger positions, like, obviously they started off small, but I feel like they started to stray away from what they actually began with. So like guys who did start to push people, inspire people, start to stray away, and they become more infatuated with the fact that now they're huge. Now they kind of don't mess with people that much. Like you come to say hi to them or whatever the hell it may be, and they're just gonna act a little bit like, like I'm too big for you. Like, back off.
Yeah.
But they have the sponsorships, they have all the stuff. So now it's like, why do I have to continue being like that?
There's something to be said about waking up in silk sheets and, once you have a lot of money, and you've become very successful, and you're not worried about things like growing anymore. It's really easy to just live in that. Mm-hmm. And no shame. I really don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it's majority of the times a product of their environments, a product of what they've built for themselves. Yeah. And that's great. I just hope that there are people out there who will always hold on to their roots. It's the same reason why I'll still go work out at Planet Fitness, because albeit I will put this out there publicly, it's a terrible gym. It is. It's an awful gym. I don't know who decided that purple and yellow were good colors. Like, but it's where I started, and I
Yes.
think you always need to remind yourself that before you were here, you were there.
Yeah.
And before I was at Crunch with some of like my favorite gym guys in the world, you guys now, I was in a Planet Fitness learning the basics, and I was doing all of my lifts there, and that's where I got started.
Yeah.
And if you don't go back enough to reconnect with that, I think you lose a part of yourself.
Okay.
There. And I encourage everyone to hold on to the roots, good or bad. There's a reason why, although my TikTok videos are privated, I've never deleted a single one I've made.
Respect that.
I got to the point I did doing whatever I've done in the past. It's a reflection of who I am, who I was, and while it might not be indicative of where I'm heading, I won't be heading anywhere if I didn't start there.
Yeah.
So that's why I do that.
I just agree with what he said. It is a horrible gym. Planet Fitness does suck,
It's
but
awful. It is so
you
bad.
know, I'm not gonna just sit here and trash it. But my experience going there was kind of insane because I went there for a couple of weeks. I went to visit in Florida,
Okay.
and I was like, "This is the only gym that's available for me right now." So I go in. Seems normal. Front desk is a little close to the entire gym, but you know, whatever. I didn't believe that the lung alarm was a real thing.
You messed up.
So when I got there and I saw it for the first time, I was like, "This is actually real." Like this thing, I thought this was fake. Like
oh, she's real.
I was like,
She's real.
So I literally had to. I sat there and I like worked out as quiet as I could.
Really?
I'm a loud person.
I know.
I had to do something crazy.
I know.
It's like, so I'm like, wow, like this is insane. Like, and there's guys next to me dancing with the dumbbells and people breaking their back on the squat. And
It's a cult. It is most definitely a cult. I set off that lunk alarm once.
yeah,
I was doing leg extensions, not even like a crazy loud exercise, but I guess I was doing burnouts in my last set, or I guess my last rep really.
yeah,
It's very heavy, couldn't get it up. So like I tried to gradually bring it down, but it slammed down. And by the way, it's a manual alarm.
I've
So
been
someone
told.
at the front sat there, saw me do that, and said, "All right,
I've been told.
let me press the button." Like, all right, man. To be fair, that the girl who worked at this Planet Fitness in particular hated me.
Really?
Hated me because I was there with my friends all the time, and you know, we're loud and not disruptively loud. But I guess at a Planet Fitness, maybe should have read the room a little bit better. But hey, it's what we did.
Do you think they picked certain people to like, you know, like I want to fuck with this guy, like I want to get him.
100%,
Yeah.
100%. Because according to her, I was probably someone who didn't fit the demographic of that gym. So any opportunity to ostracize me, she was like, "Yeah, and you know what? Like, I wasn't even that big yet.
Yeah,
I'm 195 pounds now.
Yeah.
Back then, I was only sitting like 185, which heavier than I started at. But I wasn't a lunk, and I didn't carry around the half gallon with the stringer yet. Like, I was wearing tank tops and soccer shorts. It
Yeah.
was really hard.
Just you coming in as a normal gym goer, you're just trying to get a little lift in.
I thought.
Dude,
She did not.
the
She
culture.
did not.
It's also it's like another thing is just the culture was awful. Like I walk in and they're playing Kesha like in a gym and everyone is just like not pushing each other in there. It's just like so nonchalant. Like
Listen, we got to talk about gym culture. I
We
was
do.
talking about this with my friends the other day back here.
yeah,
I have been to gyms that aren't, it's not our Crunch, that are equipment-wise phenomenal.
uh-huh.
And the music's fantastic. They do a really good job. But I'm a firm believer that the people in that gym make the gym.
Uh-huh.
And there's a reason why I love the Crunch that we go to so much is because the culture we have in there is incredible. Because you'll have college students just going there to work out, but then you have guys like you, the power lifters there, and the community you guys have created there is just, it's incredible. It makes me want to go to that gym over anything else. And
Yeah.
I was heartbroken that I didn't get to make it Labor Day because I love being there with you guys. And
Yeah.
even when I was home over the summer, I would occasionally show up to work
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
It's a 50-minute drive to
Remember
get
that.
to the gym. But
That's commitment there, folks. That is really commitment.
well, like 50 minutes, yeah, you think about that and gas and whatnot, but the gym I was working out at home, quiet,
Yeah.
no one's there, and you know, I'm someone who if I see someone lifting heavy in a gym, I will give them the nod or I'll give them the high five. Like I will try to build you up.
Yeah.
That gym, I dropped a cable once and some lady let me hear it for like 20 minutes straight. So I'd much rather be at the gym that's 50 minutes away, but I love everybody there versus the quiet mom gym that no one wants me to be in.
Oh, that's something that I really dislike, but I can't really say too much. Like when people really start to kind of spaz on you, like you could be doing something extremely heavy, and just because you put it down, it just like the whole world ended now because you put it down a little bit heavy. Then you're just hearing shit for like 15 minutes.
Oh, I know. I've had that happen to me so many times.
Did you?
Yeah. Deadlifting. They're not a fan of deadlifting at that gym. And honestly, anything that's this lady, I'm not gonna. We respect.
Yeah,
we're respectful. But this lady, I was doing cable flies, and I'm probably using like 42.5 on each side.
Okay.
And I don't know if I don't think she understood this. In order for you to continue to get stronger, you have to keep going up in weight.
Mm-hmm.
You can't show up, do the same 3 sets of 10 of 20 pounds every day. Like, that's not how you get stronger.
Yeah.
So on a heavier set, when I'm doing cables, what I'll do is I'll pull the first one in, I'll hold it, I'll pull the second one out, I'll go do my flies, and then what I'll do is I'll take the step back. One of them tends to be a little bit louder than the other, and I'm not slamming this weight, mind you.
Yeah.
I just, it's 40 pounds whipping you back, so you like let it go, and it'll make a little noise.
Yeah.
And then you put the other one down, but she was not having it. And she told me something like, you know what she did?
What?
She said, maybe if you weren't lifting like a fairy, you wouldn't have these problems. Like, if you can't handle the weight, don't use it. And I couldn't even, first off, I couldn't believe she said that to me.
Yeah.
And I told her, and I don't regret saying this, I'd say it again. I said, if you have a problem with someone using heavier weights, you can go to Planet Fitness or you can go home. But I'm not here for you.
Yeah.
So why don't you do your own thing? And I might have said a few other things that I don't need to repeat. But, couldn't believe that lady. Couldn't believe her. And I went up to the front desk and I was like, guys, she's a menace. Like, you got to go talk to her.
She's a menace.
They sorted her out. But,
she's a menace.
Gym culture, that's why I go to Crunch. You don't run into people like that.
You'd be surprised. But that day that I pulled 585, so
you're right, the guy.
I'm a firm believer in like people who are doing something insane, and whether it's like for yourself personally or somebody else is doing something really big next to you. It's one of the things that I love about powerlifting gyms is that they don't care how loud you get, or because I'm gonna encourage somebody. I really do. Like, I want to see you get that weight off the ground. I want to see somebody squat that. I want to see somebody bench that. So because I got really loud, I mean, maybe I did over exaggerate a little bit, break the belt on the slam, but I got in trouble for that. I was like,
here's the catch with that, right? What I always try to do in any situation, I really do believe this, I try to put myself in other people's shoes.
Okay.
But if you're going to a gym and it's a college gym.
Yes.
There are college kids there.
Yes. When
When you think of college kids, what do you think? You think loud? You think abrasive. So when you go to the college gym and you hear someone slamming a weight and getting excited about it, is that really going to bother you that much? And if it is, the next question to ask yourself is why is that kid in the gym? Why are you in the gym? Like, brother, go live somewhere else. There's a Planet Fitness very close to you.
You're not wrong.
You can just go
there. You're not wrong. But like,
before I forget, I got you something.
What?
So I don't know what pre-workout you're taking nowadays,
Yeah.
but I just got set my next full send pre.
Are you sure, bro? Oh my God, are you sure?
Absolutely.
Dude, thank you.
First off, you made me the first guest on the podcast, and I was honored, and I wanted to. I like to pay things forward.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
I wouldn't give it to you if I didn't think it was good, and that stuff is
it? Yeah.
really good. So
I'm definitely gonna try this tomorrow. Literally,
check it out. It's a little bit on the tame side. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
It's only 200 milligrams, so a scoop and a half will do you perfectly.
Okay.
I have my opened one over there, my wall of subs.
The
But
gorilla mode and the
I mean, you've always been a very supportive person.
dude. I appreciate it, man.
It's the least I could do. It also didn't cost me anything.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. 100%.
Free gift to you.
I appreciate it, bro.
Yeah.
Because on top of that, man, I was running out of free right now anyway, 110%. So
always running out of free
dude,
workouts. So there you go.
Dude, I really appreciate that, man. Thank you so much.
For you, man, anything, of course.
But like now that you just said that you're full send, yeah. So what is it like you're a sponsored athlete?
Yes.
So how is that whole thing like go? Like I can't even imagine like what it's like to just wake up one day.
I'll explain it to you. It's very interesting. I want to give advice to other people in this gym influencer scene, the fitness influencer scene.
Yeah.
There are brands that will work with anyone. but the definition of them working with you varies. And I will not buy someone's product to get a 15% discount code if they're not legitimate about payouts or promotion. And what was so exciting to me about the full send supplements thing, outside of the fact that it's full send, is when I first got signed on with them, when I first applied and they took me on, they didn't take anybody on. I barely know anyone who's using them or like sponsored by them or working with them. And I made the announcement about it. They reposted it, so they're all about promotion. And at the end of the day, if you're working with a brand and they're willing to promote you and send you some promotional items, I think that's the best way to go. You have to be willing to pay forward. A smaller brand, like I work with the clothing place, Iron Line.
Okay.
A lot smaller.
Yeah.
So me buying their products is a lot different because A, it's a huge discount.
Yes.
And B, you can't take free inventory from someone who's just getting off the ground.
Yeah, 100%.
These guys, it's a little different. I mean, they're an established brand. Their supplement line could go down the drain, mean nothing to them, you know. So, but yeah, no, it's been really cool. The only problem I'm having is I don't know how much longer I'm going to be with these guys, and it's just because I took pre-workout before boxing and I didn't like it.
Oh.
The amount of adrenaline I have in sparring, it's enough, and the pre-workout kind of serves as like the adrenaline dump. It's an overkill. And I sparred for 2 rounds, and third round, my cardio is very good right now. Like I have pretty good endurance. Nothing.
Dude.
Dead. I'm like breathing heavy out the mouth. The mouth guard's half off.
Oh, wow.
I'm like flat-footed. Arms are down.
Yeah.
So you want to lift weights. You want to get a good workout in. You want to study.
Yeah.
Take that stuff.
Okay.
That's why I'll still have it. Otherwise, yeah. But yeah.
So like, because I mean, fighting, you're obviously gonna have natural adrenaline. Like you're gonna, somebody's trying to hit you. You're gonna hit them. So.
Oh yes, they do.
So I'm surprised that it actually like makes you tired. Like it killed you. Like you were already done.
I got off of pre-workout for a little bit before I started working with these guys.
Okay.
And I found, especially with diet, now that my diet's very clean. I'll go show you my kitchen after this.
Say that.
Like I'm talking like egg whites and fruits and vegetables is very clean right now, and there's a lot of natural energy to be gained out of eating like that.
Okay.
Whereas when I was bulking up, because of my metabolism and the way I've always looked at food, when I wanted to bulk up or be in weightlifting shape, I got my macros done in regards to protein and just let the rest fall into place. And when you're eating like that, protein takes a while to break down your system, so you become very lethargic. But the way I eat protein right now, it's very clean. It's egg white. That's my main source of protein, is egg protein.
Okay.
And so I have a lot of natural energy to begin with. So, and again, boxing, when you're sparring with someone, I don't care who you are. I went in there with a guy who was my weight. I went in a guy who was 20 pounds lighter than me. The butterflies in your stomach, standing across from another man that you're about to throw hands with, it is your pre-workout.
Okay.
It is definitely enough for you.
Yeah.
So probably won't be taking that before boxing ever again. But
fight or flight. Actually,
you got to try it. You gotta
I
try
definitely
it.
will. I definitely will. Kind of excited because you've been like saying it's like pretty good.
I wouldn't lie. And again, I've had many brands reach out. I've had brands send me stuff before.
Okay.
If I don't believe in a product's value, if it's not something I would take or recommend to someone, I just won't touch it. That's why my inventory for pre-workouts is pretty small nowadays. I just take that. I have Gorilla Mind when I want to go work out, and I want a just a little pump, and it's past 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Like today, I'll still take the full sense up. I still want that little boost to get me through the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just those two. Yeah.
So now that we're still on the topic of like the sponsorships and how it was, are you still going after Gymshark? Because I saw that when by the way, guys, he made a list. It's one of the things that was like really cool. He has this list with a bunch of like stuff. I'll let him explain it.
Sure. Yeah, I could do that. So I like the idea of manifesting things. And I think if you put your goals in front of you and work towards them every day in one form or the other, you're going to get closer, and eventually you'll get there. And a goal I've actually had for a very long time is I wanted to become a Gymshark athlete. I don't care about the clout associated with it. I don't care about the free stuff. I don't care about the money. I don't care what it comes with.
Okay.
I am in love with this brand because these were the same clothes I put on when I had no confidence, and it instilled the first bit of confidence in me in the gym when I was 175 pounds.
Wow.
I was actually the lightest I ever was wearing Gymshark was 166. Light.
Wow.
But I put that shirt on. I wasn't wearing tank tops yet.
Yeah.
But I had enough confidence to put one of their tighter fit gym shirts on, and I felt good for the first time ever at that point.
That's great.
So, a brand like that means so much to me because it's affected me in more ways than just the physical appearance that it provides. And so, is it still a goal for me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the way I chase it nowadays is a little different. I'm still figuring out where I want to take my social media and how I want to structure the way I promote things or get on people's radars, whatever the case is. And the only regret, I don't have regrets, but the one regret I do have, when I went viral, like when my one TikTok went all over the internet, that was the first time Gymshark was ever in my DMs. And we stayed in touch for a bit, so I'd follow up with them. I sent them like my posts and my YouTube, like I gave them all my links and I showed them how often I was promoting. The one thing I didn't do that I will preach to everyone to do, I didn't strike when the iron was hot. I had a lot of momentum, and I think, you'll see this with this podcast or even with your Instagram.
Yeah.
When your engagement is at an all-time high, that's when you post 2 times a day. Okay. That's when you just aggressively promote, you post, you work. And I had that for a while. Like, when my TikTok was peaking and I was getting like 500, 600 followers a day, I was posting all the time.
Yeah.
Because now you're in the algorithm's favor. And with that on Instagram, with Gymshark, I was going through injuries in the gym, so I wasn't lifting as much. And it was hard for me to figure out what to do with that page. And, granted, I definitely could have done a better job with it. But, I lost momentum with them. And it's hard nowadays. Sometimes the algorithm on Instagram loves me or hates me. And full transparency, I will say this: I hate Instagram. I love using it.
Yeah.
In regards to staying connected with people, growing my platform, I hate it. I hate it because they want to be TikTok nowadays so bad.
Yeah.
And only promoting reels, like, I'm not throwing shade at people who make fitness reels, but fuck me. Everyone has the same reel. If you've seen one guy make a reel, there are thousands of them doing the same thing. And I've done it before, and I can see the value in it because engagement, it will go up. They will reward you right away for it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't say anything about me. That's not what I'm setting out to do.
It's boring,
so why bother?
Yeah. Like, it's just a copy and paste with a different person.
That's, you see, the biggest influencer, my favorite influencers, even outside of fitness, have always been KSI, Logan Paul.
Yeah.
These two, I followed Logan Paul when he was daily vlogging, and I was following KSI since like middle school because of FIFA. I was a soccer kid. The one thing about these guys, they would hop on trends. Don't get me wrong, but their personalities just shine. You know who they are. You know what they're all about. And when you're following trends and you're not putting a spin on it and you're just chasing engagement, it's never going to work out. And guys like them, they're pioneers in the influencer space because they reinvented the game and they looked at a way to be themselves and project that in ways that are relatable or entertaining. And Instagram Reels don't do that.
Yeah.
There's not, and I could be wrong, and maybe I just haven't found that person yet, but I don't know anybody who's innovating on Instagram Reels. I really don't, because the way it's set up, you can't make a 60-second reel. It's not going to get attention.
Yeah, because it's going to be too long. Somebody's just going to lose.
They want 7 seconds. They want. I think right now, the last time I checked, the golden time was like 7 or 8 seconds.
7 seconds.
I can't get my message across or do anything in 7 to 8 seconds.
My views have been dying.
I can take off my shirt. 7 to 8 seconds, and I feel bad for someone like you who's in powerlifting.
Yeah.
Because you're long form content by default.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Yeah, of course.
That's why I think you take your platform, you go to YouTube.
Yeah.
And you run with it there.
Okay.
I think that would be good for you.
Okay.
In fact, what you should do after we're done talking, obviously, you should take that camera and you should hold on to it for a few months and try this vlogging thing, because that thing is collecting dust. I have no use for it right now. Someone's got to put it to use. And I think for you, being a power lifter, and I mean, you're very goal oriented, you're very focused. I think there's a lot of relatability there. Vlog it, make it raw, do that. It's just run with that.
definitely think about that. Cause
That's my 2 cents. I mean, you're gonna take that camera with you after
oh,
this
okay.
is
I'm
over
going
anyway.
to take the
You're
camera.
gonna I if I have equipment that I'm not using, someone needs to put it to use.
Yeah.
Might as well be someone I trust is going to do a good job with it. So you will take it, and whatever you decide to do with it, bless you. But I think that would be perfect for you.
I'm gonna leave with a black eye and a camera today because I have to take the camera.
You're going to leave with a black eye if you don't take it.
Oh, okay, if I don't take the camera.
Yes.
Well, I'll definitely try that because one of the things that I do have a camera, but it wouldn't be able to shoot the way yours did. So then I kind of sat there and was like, let me just see what my iPhone can do.
iPhone's pretty good.
The upload quality was fucking shit.
That's the only problem when you record off the iPhone, the quality you get in the back end.
Yeah, because I was 60 frames per second on my camera. I go on YouTube, and I was excited to, like, when I first uploaded my first video on YouTube, I was like, wow, like, I got 100-something views. 100-something views, you know, we're starting. But I was excited. I was like, okay, I can't wait to see the quality on this. And it's like 720 and really, like, it's all really bad, really grainy.
It's very grainy because the aspect ratio, they don't tell you this, but it doesn't transfer one for one. It's not perfect.
Okay.
And that's why this camera that I've been using, the G7X, I saw it for the first time through the Sidemen. They use it whenever they shoot vlogs.
Okay.
That's the camera they use. And it's because while it's not a 60 frames per second camera, it'll give you a clean 1080p. It'll give you 50 frames per second. It's very hard to notice the difference. It's 10 frames. And you know 60 frames when you see it, but the 50's so close that you would never think twice about it. And if you take the chip out of it, you plug it into your computer to edit it, perfect quality.
Oh.
I used to transfer videos from that camera to my phone. Second you put it on an iPhone, forget about it. That footage, it's shit.
Yeah.
So you plug it into the computer and you edit from there. But I think you would get a lot of use out of that. So I'm excited to see what you're going to do with that.
Okay. So, yeah, I am going to take the camera because I've been told I'm going to take the camera.
Well, I think while I'm trying to figure out where content creation's taking me next, it's important that I'm pushing someone to do that.
I respect that. But I definitely thought, like, you would use that and bring that for your boxing stuff.
Here's
film sparring, some training.
So that gym, it's in New Brunswick. They record almost every sparring session. So it's footage I'd have, and I want to do something with it. I just haven't decided what that is yet. I want to release sparring footage soon because I want people to see how bad I am right now. Because I think a lot of people, you know, I'll talk about influencer boxing. You'll see these guys who are training to be in these influencer fights. Mm-hmm. A lot of them will not release their sparring footage. They don't want you to see them performing poorly. But the truth is, like, with anything you do, especially me, I suck at everything I do the first time. Mm-hmm. I'm awful at it. And I'd rather share that and show people that you can go up from there than, what do I wait, like 6 months to a year? Yeah. And then I release that footage. It's not a reflection of my journey. That's just where I'm at, not where I've been. Yeah. And I don't know what I want to do with that yet. I think what would be really interesting for me, and I've thought about this for a while, if I could get my TikTok audience to grow a bit more and get on one of these social media boxing events, one of the smaller ones, that would be fantastic. Because outside of like the new one, the Misfits and all, whatever those guys are doing, there's a lot of smaller promotions, and they're always looking for guys. And I think jumping around there would be really cool because it allows me to build that audience through my new thing, being boxing, while I can still touch on something I've always enjoyed, which is creating content around what I'm doing or what I'm interested in. But again, I'm whatever I'm about to set out for next in social media, I want it to be my thing. Yeah. And I'm telling you now, I'm putting this out there. Whatever I land on within the next 6 months, I'm gonna be big with it. It's gonna be big because I feel like I've tested out different things for myself. I've seen what works for me, what doesn't, what excites me and what doesn't. And once I find that comfortable medium where both those things are in line, I seriously think I'm unstoppable. But I think everyone needs to believe that too.
I really like that though. But I mean, it'd be exciting to see you on a fucking undercard or some shit, beating the fuck out of somebody on.
Listen. It's I would never do something half-ass, and I always said, I told it, God, this conversation with my mom was awful. I was like, I'm training boxing, like I'm gonna back into it. She's like, oh, that's great, it'll keep you in shape. And I said, no, I'm gonna fight somebody. Oh. Horrified. And it's because I didn't play soccer to have good feet. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it all went towards something to compete, and I am so competitive. And that's the problem I had with weightlifting too, was all I had left to do in weightlifting competitive wise to be a power lifter. And as cool as that is to me, it just doesn't excite me the way that it excites someone like you. It's something you're really passionate about. But something like boxing, I don't know.
I mean, that sounds
the
like
running,
fun.
the fighting, it's highest highs, the lowest lows. And
Yeah.
finally having something that's on my own. I've always been a team sport player, and sometimes you love it or sometimes you hate it because it's not a reflection of you. But now I can really take this thing that at the end of the day, when you step into the ropes, you're in the ring. It's you and one other person, and that's where you can prove your point. And, you know, who knows? I'll be training really hard. I'd like to have my first amateur fight in January.
Okay.
Really early, but I really believe I can prepare myself in time for that. And then who knows where that goes.
So
but you gotta do it in full.
Do you have like actual aspirations though, like of really becoming a pro boxer, or is it just like an influencing boxing thing and just become big enough to get on the cards, or do you really want to take this to like a pro level where there's possibilities of becoming world champ in a division, something like that?
Great question. That's a hard one. It's a hard one to answer right now because boxing is still very foreign to me in the way that I train, and I give myself some credit. A lot of the guys I worked with the other day told me naturally I'm pretty well set, which is the first time I've ever heard that about anything in my life. You know, if I asked my soccer coach if I had any natural ability in soccer, he'd look at me like I was a moron. Like, no, of course not. You suck.
Wow.
But coming out of sparring to like for a guy for the first time really sparring, like you look good. You do a lot of things really well naturally, and you know that excites me because growth is exponential when you first start doing anything. Whether it's going to the gym, powerlifting, I'm sure, or even boxing, like the progression you make at first is huge. And if I can make a great turnaround in the first 4 to 6 months of doing this, take my amateur fight, and if I do really well, sky's the limit, and I'll take it wherever it's meant to go. And you know, you ask your support system around you what they think, and you know, I believe in myself. And if I can have outsiders believing the ability for me to do something like that, I'll take it to the sky. I'll take it past the sky, wherever it can take me, because that's what excites me.
Yeah.
It's not knowing where it's going to go. It's knowing that I'm working hard towards this first goal, which is having that fight. And after that, who knows what opportunities will present themselves. But whatever they are, I'll be ready for them.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Do you have like a coach though, like, or like, do you have a coach at that gym? Like,
there's a coach. He is a coach. He will coach anyone who walks into that gym.
Oh.
He's very passionate. I wish I remembered his name and just call him Coach.
Yeah.
But you know, I met him the other day, and this was the first time I got into this gym because I'd been in a different gym at home. But coming in here with this guy, I walked in to sign up, and he's like, "Okay, this is how we do things. You're gonna come over here. You're going to run for 15 minutes. You're going to get a mile done. You're going to do your jump rope warm up. You're going to hit every bag, and then you're going to get in the ring." I was like, "Oh, so you're really about that." He was so invested when I got there, watched me spar. And the one thing I was surprisingly hesitant about was letting my right hand fly.
Okay.
And I think getting thrown into the fire for the first time, sparring's a weird one for me. You're fighting someone, but you're not fighting somebody.
Yeah.
It's a technical thing. You're supposed to test your sparring partner, but you're not supposed to hit them. Like, you're not trying to kill them.
Okay.
But when I want to throw my right hand, like, I want to throw it.
Yeah.
And so I felt bad because one of the guys, and he responded. Good for him. We were doing a very technical spar. This is the second guy I was sparring with. He was like, "Don't be afraid. Let that right hand fly." And I did.
Yeah.
And I broke his guard with a straight right punch, and like I gave him that little whiplash, and I was like, okay, maybe that was a little overcount. He returned the favor, so I think that was my answer. But it's fun. Just learning the nuances and seeing what I'm capable of already is so exciting. And I pray for whoever my first fight is against. I pray for them, and it's not because I'm an aggressive person, but it's because if I'm in love with something and I'm working hard towards something, no one's gonna get in the way of that. Like, I really don't care who they put in front of me. They're done.
Okay.
They're done.
And it's also must be like a huge bonus that you have a coach that's like behind you on that. Like, because, you know, coaches have a lot of power. Like, they either make or break the person that's really that's pushing towards something.
Yeah.
And, you know, having somebody like that pushing you, I mean, shit, look at you right now. You're talking about whoever you get in front of, whoever's in front of you is like, that's it. Like, that wall is going to get ran through, and you're not going to have it any other way.
Listen, a huge part of anything you do is that belief,
Yeah.
right? Like, if you don't believe you're going to be the best, then why are you doing it? You know, and some people don't always go out searching to be the best, but have always wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I'm going to do something, why not be the best at it?
Yeah.
There has to be a best. There's always a best at something. I don't care if it's something like a sport or you're cooking. Like, someone's got to be the best at it.
Yeah.
So why not me? Why
100%.
not you? You know what I mean? But yeah, that's where I'm at, and it's exciting. It's very different, and sometimes it's very nerve-wracking. Like, I won't be able to go into the boxing gym today, and I'll be weightlifting and I'll be boxing at the gym.
Yeah.
But I mean, tomorrow I'll be back in the morning, and I'm gonna ask to get thrown into sparring again. I just want to get back in there, and I want to perform, and I just want someone to give me the work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit. I mean, you got a lot of heart for that shit, because I wouldn't want to just jump in there and just get punched like on a repeated basis.
The best
Yeah.
way to learn.
Okay.
Because I think once you shake off the nerves about being in the ring, moving around, having someone throwing punches at you, then you can take the step back and see, all right, what do I need to work on so the next time I go back in there, I'm better. And now that I have a few things I want to work on, I'm blessed.
That's fucking insane. Because I think that's really cool that you picked up that boxing stuff, and that's like where it's gonna lead me to my next thing. It's where it's like goal setting, and how did somebody like you, when it came to creating that list that you had with, oh, okay, I want to be a Gymshark athlete, and I want to lift this amount of weight, or I want to be this I want to be this weight, I want to look like this.
Okay.
When it came to setting goals, how did you come about that? Because setting goals could be really hard for people. Some people really just start to think of 100 different possibilities or 100 different things, and they don't really set their mind to getting into something.
Yeah.
Like, they just lose track of it.
Okay. So I think a lot of people say set realistic goals. I don't like that.
Okay.
You need to be realistic. I'm not saying set absurd, completely unreachable goals. Like, my goal this year wasn't to become the welterweight champion of the world. You know what I mean? Right? But I think you need goals that are almost outside your reach at the time you set them, because you'll have to work to get there. And I can't look at a goal on a board and not do something about it. I have the whiteboard here. I keep meaning to put my goals back up on there too.
Yeah.
But I believe that it's very easy to understand what your goals are. You don't have to have your whole life figured out, and you don't have to really have in mind what you're super passionate about. But set goals surrounding your current interests, the things that get you out of bed.
Okay.
So weightlifting was my life. So, okay, let's set a goal around that, because I wake up thinking about going to the gym. So what am I going to put in front of me to get there? 315 on bench. Okay, great. Put that on the list.
Okay.
Something like becoming a Gymshark athlete was very easy for me, because it's just huge. I mean, that's just something that's been with me forever.
Yeah.
So no question there. And something I think a good goal to set for yourself is something that you can achieve every day. And for me, it was giving myself more credit, because I'm very hard on myself. And what I practiced doing every day was I'll break down my day and go, you know what, you did this today, and that's really good. And you learn to create habits like that. And I think those can be goals too. But I mean, what are your goals? We're coming to a close on the end of the year. Goals for the rest of the year?
So the last couple of months that I have left, I think one of the biggest things that I wanted to do was deadlift 600 plus.
Wow.
Because I think if I look at it, and this is not I don't like feeling I'm not cocky. I'm not trying to be cocky. I'm not trying to hold myself to some super extremely high standard. But I look at other people, and I don't think the run that I've had in my short powerlifting career already is normal. I don't think that the things that I've came into the gym and done so fast, when it's taken people years to get to, is normal.
I will say this about you. I am not well versed in powerlifting, but I talk to people about these things at the gym. You've made ridiculous progression for someone who's, I'd say, relatively new to the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, we talked about earlier, exponential growth at the beginning, and you're still in that beginning exponential growth phase. 100%. I really believe that. So I I think you'll get that done. I'll be there for that.
Yeah.
What did you pull the last time I was there?
It was 585, and it was a random day.
585.
It was a random day because I was supposed to go in there and be like, oh, today I'm gonna hit a triple, but I was like feeling good that day, like feeling good. The energy was good.
Yeah.
Everybody there was good, and it's one of the things that my coach has told me kind of keeps continuing to surprise him is that every time I'm given that assignment, I gotta go like, I want you to do this, or you're not going to do this, because sometimes he likes to challenge me, tell me that I'm not going to make it to a point where it kind of fuels me, fires me to the point where I'm going to prove you wrong and I'm not going to have it. And I like that way of coaching. It really pushes me and really makes me want to be better. So like the new assignment right now is to have a 1350 total. So I have to get a 300 plus bench, 600 plus deadlift, and a 450 plus squat.
I wonder what my total is right now.
You have a
Completely side tangent.
You have a 455, right?
455 squat.
Yeah, we can add that. I'll add that over
485 deadlift, I think.
Hold on. 455 squat, right?
Yeah.
485 deadlift.
And
You getting 500?
didn't hit
I
500.
could have swore you did.
No,
Wow.
no, I wish. I really should. And then
350,
bench
right?
is 320.
320.
320.
So you have 455, 485, 320. You have 1260.
It's not bad.
And you don't train powerlifting.
No.
You know, so that's one of the things. It's like people come in this gym and they're strong as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, and they don't train for something like that.
I could never have the patience to do it. But continue. Tell me your other goals. I think the 600s, that's light work for you at this point.
Yeah, so do that. Definitely get 300 plus bench.
Okay.
And definitely get something mid, like high squat, like 460, 70-ish, 5.
Okay.
And then I want to smash my mock meet. Like,
When's your mock meet?
it's supposed to be like later on, probably like in October or
Okay.
December, around there, maybe October, November, December. It might be around my birthday, actually, November.
Ooh.
Because my coach is trying to prime me for that to get there. But I really want to smash that mock meet and then prime myself to get ready for my first meet in next year, like in probably around the same time, like end of the year of 2023, because it'll give me enough time to catch up, because these guys are like really advanced, like a lot stronger, been doing this for a lot longer. And one of my goals is to really step into my first comp and qualify for nationals. I don't want any less.
That.
I don't want any less.
I love that. And that's some people would look at you and say that's insane.
Yeah.
But you need to set these crazy goals. You need to have these crazy dreams
100%.
because how else are you going to push yourself to get there,
100%.
you know? And like I love that for you. I love that for you, and I wish more people were like that. And I think that's why you and I click so well. It's because I don't hear you say that and think you're insane. I look at you and go, that's exactly where you should be.
Yeah.
You shouldn't hold yourself to any lower expectation. That's your standard, and I love that.
It's because, like, if I sat there and I dwelled and thought about, okay, well, I'm 110 kg, 105 kg. That's about 230-ish pounds, I think.
Yeah, give or
so
take.
if I sat there and worried about, if I go into this meet and I have to go against one of the best deadlifters in the world, Jamal Browner, deadlifting 1025. If I go in there and I'm just like, I'm so scared, I'm fearing, I'm never going to perform good. Like, I have to just go in there with the mindset that even if anybody's there, whether you're better than me or not, I'm going to be the best.
You're there, so you're going to be the best.
Yes, exactly. Because it's like, if I go in there fearing, it's the same thing. So there's a powerlifter named Jesus Oliveras where he explains that you cannot drop through weight classes and try to duck competition.
Absolutely.
You can't duck the best guys. There's gonna be people who are the best of the best in every place you go. And it's the same thing with, I can say right now, with boxing. There's no dodging the best of the best. Mm-hmm. Like, you're going to meet with them eventually. Yeah. And what are you gonna do? Run, or are you just gonna challenge them? Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. No, listen, that's such an excellent point to make. Look, you're someone who is wired to work hard, and I think we're very similar in that it doesn't really matter who's in front of us, who's opposing us, who's against it. The only work you can do is on yourself. Mm-hmm. So rather than get hung up on, this guy's so much stronger than me, or, this guy's a much better boxer than me. Yeah. I just need to be the best version of myself I can be. And if I channel my energy into working on myself instead of channeling energy into worrying about other people, unstoppable.
Yeah, no, really? 100%. And it's like, that's something that I've gotten now that I'm older and that I've gotten to at this point where I'm in the gym and I'm feeling better about myself. Because if we're talking a couple of years ago, I wouldn't be talking the way I'm talking. Like, I would be ducking a lot of stuff, or I would be scared to do a bunch of shit because I was a guy who cared about what people were going to think of me. Didn't really have too much confidence in myself, or didn't think I really had any abilities, because one of the first things that I really wanted to start it, or that I had gotten pushed into doing, was playing baseball at a younger age. You know, you come from a Dominican family.
Yes.
That's your thing. But, you know, when I was playing, I didn't feel like I was going to be something. And I didn't really feel like I kept getting forced, or kind of felt like I was getting pushed into just doing something that I didn't think I was going to make it. And so for like the longest time, I really dealt with like issues with being confident in something, or feeling like I'm talented in the sport. And now that I got it, I'm not going to let that go. Like it's there, and I can't lose it. So that's one of the things that I want to just, every time I see somebody doing something, I'm trying to push them, make them understand that, bro, you have something, and whatever you're doing, whatever it may be that you want to pursue, fuck it, you can play fucking chess for all I care.
Yeah.
Be the best.
Be the best.
Like, be as good as you possibly can, because if you sit there and dwell, it hurts you in the end. It makes you feel like you didn't really fulfill anything. Like, and that's the same thing. That's one of the things that me and Renato were talking about a couple days ago, is people just living a life where they feel like they're not fulfilled. You remember that?
My biggest fear in my lifetime is considering myself to be unremarkable.
Yeah.
You need to live a fulfilling life, and more so for me than maybe some other people. I don't know. I've never been, at least nowadays for sure, I haven't been okay with the idea of just being fine, just being okay, just doing well enough. Because in order to live a fulfilling life, you need to be happy, and more so than that, you need to be passionate about your life, your craft, what you're doing. And I love being in school, and I love chasing something like a degree. It's very important to me.
Yeah.
But when I think about something like boxing or creating content, you know, these things that I'm passionate about, I believe in my ability to take them to the next level, and it's because I will not be unremarkable. I am dead set that at the end of the day, at the end of my life, I'm going to be able to look back at myself and say, damn, you were pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
That's everything to me.
No, I respect that.
Everything, yeah.
Because there's people like, and it's, you know, it is how it is sometimes. Sometimes people are just, you know, it's drilled into their head. But I feel like people just live a life that was like planned out for them.
Yep.
Like they're just given a map. Okay, here you go. You're born. You're going to go to college. You're going to go to school. You're going to go to high school. You're going to go to college. You're going to graduate, get a degree, work a 9 to 5.
Yep.
But if you had a goal like of, let's say, being a streamer or something like that for a video game, you didn't pursue it because you went you just pursued that map. Yeah. And you were like, if I do this, I'm going to be unsuccessful.
See, here's the thing about this. It's hard. Don't get me wrong. Social pressure is a huge thing. Familial pressure is massive. And I can understand that. But I think, albeit maybe I'm a little jaded, but I stopped being the person I was supposed to be, and I've just become the person I want to be. Exactly. That's what I aspire to do. And I think you need to let go of these fears, because while they're very rational, you're just holding yourself back from being happy. And, you know, most of the greatest success stories follow these people who had maybe one person believing in their ability to do something, and they spent nights living in a car, or they got kicked out of their house because of what they wanted to do, or they faced like embarrassment, pressure, like treated poorly because they didn't envision their lives the way other people set them out for them. And, you know, almost all of them from the other side will give the advice to just go for it. And that's why I've always believed in just doing that, because they've made it for a reason. And if you want to listen to someone in a field who has succeeded in a way that you're looking to, and they're telling you that's what they went through to get where they're at, that's just a part of the gig then. 100%. You know, it's just going to be a part of it, and you have to be willing to fully commit. And I think that's the problem a lot of people have. Committing to something 100% is very hard. Yeah. It requires a lot of discipline that I would never say there's people out there who aren't capable of it. I don't believe that. It's a lot harder for people to acquire that than others. Yeah. And it's a shame. I hate watching people who are very passionate about something not go follow that thing because they've been put on a different path, or they've beat it into their own mind that they're meant to do this. It's a shame, but you know, that's why I try to surround myself with people like you.
Yeah.
who are very much wired the same way I am, because it's hard. Sometimes you will have doubts, and it's important that the people around you are those who are very similar to you, because they will remind you that you're doing what you're doing because of how you feel. And, you know, someone like you and someone like me wired so similarly that it's a connection that I will always value, and I look for in other people, because it's not a lot of them. There's not.
No, you're not wrong,
like
and
that.
it's for the longest time. I used to really like let people's opinion or not opinion. Basically, what they told me, I would take that for like that's your word. Like so, when you're a kid and stuff, you're doing those things in like elementary school. They ask you what you want to be when you grow up, doctor, firefighter, whatever it may be. I used to take advice from people who were not in that field, like doctors, not doctors. I'd be like, oh, like I want to be a doctor when I grow up, and they're like, well, that's gonna take a lot of this and a lot of that.
Yeah.
But they've never been in that position. They don't know really what they're talking about. So, but in a way, they didn't know that I'm being straight off now because you kind of just killed that for me. So, like, it's one of the things now that I like that it's like, now that I found powerlifting and I really do want to become a big powerlifter, even in the influencing scene and like, I do want to become a sponsored athlete, but not for the reasons of just like having money. Like, fuck it. Like, I'll do powerlifting and work a job. I don't care. But in the sense where I kind of want to show that I took this, said I was going to be a powerlifter, and I made something out of it. I didn't just take somebody's word and be like, well, you know, it doesn't really work out for many people, so I don't think that's going to work for you. So and then I just get that crushed and I go and do nothing then. And it's one of the reasons why I struggle so much with like school too, because like school is a really big thing. So picking something that I wanted to do was just being like cut off, shut down, because others would just tell you, other people that didn't know what they were talking about, don't have any experience in that field, are telling you that they don't, it's going to require a lot of this, it's going to require a lot of that, but like they don't know what they're talking about.
I think I am very opinionated in education, and it's because education is very important. Yeah. You can tell when you're talking to someone who's educated. You can tell. It's very obvious. But the way that it is structured is so asinine to me. And it's a dead point. Everyone knows this already, but I mean, we got to keep talking about it until something happens. Yeah. You know, asking an 18-year-old out of high school what they want to do for the rest of their lives is insane. It's definitely insane, because I think you'll hit the age of 25, 26, and you still don't know. Let's be honest. You're going to pick something, you're going to lock into it, and you're either going to end up like one of two people, which is you're just going to commit to it. You'll get into the workforce. You're either going to love it or hate it. Or you're going to pick something. You're going to get halfway there. You're not going to want to do that thing anymore. And then you're down money. You're down time. And it's just, it's flawed. And that's why I think outside of education, you need to find a passion. And you need to pursue it in any way. And for some people, they don't need their life to be all about it. And that's great. But I think for people who have always like looked at it and really wanted it, but didn't know how to go about it, commit. Go to it.
100%.
Because there's enough time in 24 hours in a day to do both. There's a reason why I can get all my schoolwork done. I could do something like this. I can go to the gym. I can go work out 2 hours and just have that time. So, you know, it's, again, such a moot point, but that's why I always circle back to whatever you're passionate about, you need to just go do. Yeah. Because if nothing else, whether you want to take it to the moon or you just want to have it in your life, that's your purpose. That's what's going to make you happy, and you can't forget about that stuff.
You're not wrong about that. Cause literally, that you just said that. Because I was watching Joe Rogan podcast. Like, I forgot who it was with, but he would like made that same point. Like, you're coming out of high school. You're 18. You're fresh out of high school, and now I have to go to the bank, and I have to take a ginormous loan if I didn't get a scholarship, whatever it may be. If I want to go to a big school, I have to take a big loan, and you're gonna ask that 18-year-old to sign off on this $40,000 loan when they really do not know what they want to do.
I know two people in my life so far who have really always been super passionate about what they wanted to do from a very young age and have followed that through. You do not know anything at 18. 100%. You have not hit the real world. You just got out of high school. People were holding your hands, and I wouldn't even recognize my 18-year-old self right now. Yeah. So it is so jarring to me that we've decided as a society that the best way for someone to progress in life at 18 is to make them spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to get a piece of paper to lock them into a field that they don't even know they're really into. They don't know. What, like, how can we determine at 18 this is the course for you? Because again, I have changed so much in that I thought I was just going to keep weightlifting and bodybuilding as a 20, 21-year-old, and that's changed. And something like that, you can chase your dreams and they can change, and it's harmless. But something like school, when it's costing you all this money, it's really harmful.
Dude, it changes all the time. Like, you're not even wrong about that, because then now, let's say I finished that. Okay, I finished it. I graduated school. Now I have this ginormous debt, and if I took a job that's, one, not going to pay me that much, or two, I just got tired of, now I have this ginormous debt that I have to pay.
Yep.
Like, what do you do with that? What do you do with that?
You become miserable. You work a 9 to 5 the rest of your life,
and
then you die.
Yeah, and then your debt is still there. Like, it's just.
Yep, and then you pass your debt on to your family, and they'll appreciate that. That's your legacy. That's what makes you remarkable. Is you locked into that career. You became miserable. You had a family. They grew to hate you because you were miserable. When you're miserable, it reflects. It is so obvious who these people are, and I just. God, if there was ever a takeaway from this conversation that we had, if anyone were to hear it, it's find your passion, silence the noise around you, and just go about it. However you want to do it, just go about it, because life truly is too short, but there's enough time to chase what you want to chase. So
100%.
Yeah.
And it's because, like, we just covered that on that topic there, right there. It's that you just said that there shouldn't be a reason why you can't go to school, why you can't go to the gym, or chase one of your passions.
Yep.
Like, because people get confused on being able to juggle that.
I, at least nowadays, have not struggled much with time management, and it's because I look at my schedule in a way that I have things I need to do. Like, there are quite literally necessities in my day that don't revolve just around me, which is something like school. I have my parents paying. They're helping me pay for school, right?
Yes.
So that's an obligation. That's a commitment. I don't care whether I'm crazy about it or hate it.
Yeah.
That's an obligation. I will get my work done. I will give it the time it deserves. And then you think about all the free time you have in your day. You wake up. Let's say you wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
You're in bed by like 12.
Yeah.
Let's say 12. How many hours is that? Is that about?
It's 12 hours a day, right?
So that's 12. That's 16 hours.
Okay.
So 16 hours in a day. School does not take up 16 hours. And I've never understood the person who's in school full time and goes, oh, I'd really like to do this, but blah, blah, blah. What else are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, I don't like the excuse of I don't have time. You absolutely do. Are you
100%.
It's whether you're willing to make that time work or not. And a lot of people just aren't. Again, back to lack of willingness to commit. That's where it is. That's where it comes from. Time management. I can't give people time management skills because I have stuff I need to do, so I just do it.
Yeah.
I wake up and I do that thing right away. And I make sure there's enough time in my day to do the things I want to do and still have time to rest and recover. So if you're willing to sacrifice some of your free time and go about being responsible and taking care of the things you need to do and then chasing the things you want to do, there's enough time in the day to do it.
Shit, 100%. You heard it here, folks. You heard it here first.
Absolutely.
But I think that's it, man. I think that's like that.
How long have we been going for? I feel like we're talking for a while.
We've had almost an hour and 20.
Hour 20, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, listen, there's a reason why I don't have my own podcast. I probably wouldn't shut up if I was given the opportunity. But this has been great. Thank you for having me.
Dude,
honestly,
of course, man.
I've always wanted to sit down and do something like this. And I think it's a valuable conversation.
It is. And I think there's going to be a lot of things that the people can like definitely pick up from.
Yeah.
Like, especially your mindset, learning the things that you had to say about certain things and seeing from your perspective how to chasing a sponsorship, being a sponsor athlete, getting down and hitting, pursuing those goals that you have. It's like definitely a very valuable lesson for other people.
The last piece of advice I'd like to offer before we wrap this up, I'd say, the advice I've offered people, it's in a very small scope, but I believe it provides a rock solid foundation. And if you can do the small things at smaller stages of your life in a very formulaic way like that, when you get to the bigger stages and there's more pressure and there's more eyes and there's more opportunity, your foundation is going to be so much stronger. You're just going to run with it. And that's why I believe whatever I find next, whatever my thing is going to be, it's going to the moon because I'm ready to rock. I have the foundation down.
100%.
Yeah. But brother, thank you.
Of course, bro. Of course.
Subscribe. This is YouTube.
It'll go, I think, on YouTube and Spotify. I think so.
YouTube. Okay,
Yeah,
so,
dude. Shout out your stuff. Shout out your
So
stuff.
subscribe, follow. No shout outs for me. I don't know what I'm doing with
No,
myself.
no. Shout out your stuff. Shout out your stuff.
All right. Well, if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Renato LD Fitness. That is my middle name, Lewis. My last name, Dibonaventura LD. So Renato LD Fitness on Instagram. That's the only platform I'd say to check out because whatever I'm doing next, you'll find out there first.
Yes, sir.
But you got to check out Matt on everything. Let's be